Welcome, everybody, to this podcast. This is a dance medicine podcast, and my name is Celine Sofia. I'm a neuroscientist and also a dance healer. And I created this podcast to not only talk about the neurobasis of dance healing, but to also introduce dancers and their stories. Today, we have a very special dancer, Karina. And I'm fascinated by her story because she has used dance for a long time, and it has helped her cope through various problems, such as diabetes, depression, scoliosis. And I just find fascinating how she has applied dance in order to cope and even treat some of those health problems she had. So she's a great example on how dance can be healing and help you a lot with your mental and physical problems. And this podcast really aims to show non-dancers how powerful dance can be and how they should be dancing. It's to inspire people who had the same problems that Karina had has had to deal with, and also to remind teachers and dancers that they are healers and they have a great healing power, and it's our responsibility to take care of it. So, with no further ado, Karina, would you like to introduce yourself a little bit and then share how you use dance to heal all those very serious health problems that you had?
Um, I am dancer since I am a little girl, since I was 7 when I was diagnosed with diabetes. My doctor in that time recommended that I should do some kind of physical activities. So I chose dance, belly dance, and it started being just some kind of medical activity, but it ended up being my passion. Through all my life, it has helped me to control my sugar levels and keep myself, my physical self healthy, which is very important for my diabetes. Later in life, when I grew up and I started becoming a woman, I started dealing with insulin lipodystrophy. That's because I had to inject insulin through my muscles, and they started to get inflamed more and more. And I felt very ashamed for the shape of my body. And belly dance taught me that I was a beautiful woman even with that problem.
Okay, that is so awesome, and it feels like you also told me before that it helped you because obviously scoliosis will affect your posture and also your body, and that seemed to help with that. You say that it seemed to help with strengthening your muscles and strengthening your body posture.
Yes, that's right. When I was diagnosed with scoliosis, the first thing that my doctor said was that I should give up doing physical activities. It was not an option for me because I was already in love with dance, and it was a very big part of my life. So I decided not to obey my medical prescription. I discovered that through dance and all the work that involves dance helped me to improve my strength in my back, relieved me from pain, and nowadays I know I made the best decision not to give up dancing because it had helped my my posture and also of course my self-esteem because I still have a good shape in dance, and I thought that scoliosis was going to ruin that.
Yeah, so and it's interesting because there's this idea that scoliosis can kind of like cause so dance can cause scoliosis, and there's this idea that dance can even make it worse. But at the end of the day, when we have that problem, we have to kind of adjust how we do the movements and work on strengthening our bodies. And scoliosis, a lot of the times, is can be caused by a lack of somatic awareness, proprioceptive awareness. And I wanted to mention that as well because sometimes dancers are not connected with their bodies. They don't have that somatic awareness and proprioceptive awareness. And proprioception is um, the brain, it's the sixth sense that tells the brain where the body is. So if I ask you to think where your foot is at the moment, you'll be able to know without looking. So that's proprioception. And everybody has like different proprioceptive sense. And weak proprioceptive sense can cause many injuries. And that's one of them. So it's important that we dancers are connecting with our bodies at a deeper level, and that's where dance healing comes in. Because dance healing and dance healing practices will break from that constant drilling technique and bring us to a further and higher connection with ourselves. And then you have other practices, such as somatic practices. They'll help you as well connect more with yourself. Um, so it's fascinating that this has helped you, dance has helped you with two major problems that you had in your life, and it's brave that you went out of your way and and you denied what the doctor was telling you, that you should stop dancing. So how did you know in your heart that you shouldn't stop dancing? How did you know that that would be the right thing to do for you?
That's a good question because I never thought about it. I think that dance was rooted in my soul, and I felt like there's nothing that could take me out of dance. I think if I lose my leg, if some time for any reason I have to cut it off, I will find a way to dance with one leg. I can't imagine my life without dance. So I think I I can't I can't stop dancing, and I don't care what anyone says about it. I will keep on dancing all through my life, even when I was I was a granny. I will keep on dancing.
Yeah, and that's a great way. It's a great message that you're passing to dancers out there that may be injured, is that you don't necessarily need to stop, and this is really important. So if you are a dancer and you're going through an injury right now, you don't necessarily need to stop dancing completely. You may have to adjust dance to your injury, and this is a reminder that dance, you don't have to benefit dance. Dance has to benefit you. So, and I had injuries before and a couple of problems with my hip, and I cannot do turns on the left side, and there's a lot of things in the left side that I can do, but I still dance. And if something, I just do things on the right side. That's it. So it's about adapting, because when you stop dancing, uh, you are also stopping. So all the goodness that you've done to your brain and all those connections that you developed in your brain, you are kind of stopping them. They're gonna be weak, and all the goodness that you've done to your brain it's in vain. But if you keep dancing, you keep creating more and more connections, and your body and your brain adapts more and more. So it's about having a safe way to adapt dance to your body, and it's amazing that you knew that already from your heart.
Yes, well,
Also, you say that, yeah?
I have to say that my mother is also a dancer. She's a classical dancer, and she's blind, and she has never stopped dancing. She's blind, and she dances nowadays.
Wow, that's amazing. That's really impressive. So, would you say that you're having that example, of a living force and passion for dance that came from your mother has influenced you somehow as well?
Yes, totally. Yes.
Yeah, that is an amazing story. And you also said to me that dance also helped you through depression. So you also dealt with a mental. So you dealt with two physical programs, but then you also dealt with a mental illness, and dance has been another source of healing for that problem.
Yes, when I was 14, I was diagnosed with chronic depression. I had lack of some chemical in my brain. I can't remember the name. So I am going to live with this all my life. And it's very difficult because sometimes you can't find strength to get up from bed. And when that happens, I just put music on my cell phone, and something starts feeling in my body, some kind of electricity, some kind of vibe that helps you to get up, because you want to feel the music. You feel the music through your body, and you want to get up and dance. And that's the first step to preparing food, to take a shower, to go outside the balcony and see the sun. Dance has helped me a lot of times when I'm going through those depression crisis. Um, Not just dance, but music too.
That is an amazing perspective. That first of all, that's an amazing, how would you say, an amazing trick. That if you are going through this right now, if you are listening and going through this right now, I love that idea of, just if you put a nice uplifting song and just don't force it, but if you just let it play in your body, and that may give you energy. And that's neurologically that makes sense, because dance, music and rhythm, our brains are designed to sense music and rhythm, and is highly connected with motor networks. So even if you are static and you are not dancing, your motor networks are being activated. So that music does move you, and you are designed to move to rhythm and respond to music. So that is an amazing technique to use, and I thank you for sharing that, because that is really, 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 really great advice. Um, and in what other ways do you think has dance helped you? So is there other things that you do that with dance, or is there any um, practices? Is there anything you do in your daily basis that help you? And obviously, there are dance related that help you.
Well, dance is a big part of my life. I think that um, I don't know if it's something that happens in all countries, but sometimes in parks here in Argentina, you can find musicians. Um, and if I go for a walk to the park and I find this artist, I feel a necessity to join them and dance. If I'm at work, I put on music, and you can see me behind my desk moving and dancing and singing sometimes. Um, Music and dance have helped me to go through my life, and it gave me a purpose, because there were always a show, a workshop, a class to go, and that sense of that Yes, that sense of purpose in my life helped me to go on always.
That is great. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your story. And I was really fascinated when you sent me, your biography, and I found that it's really interesting that there, various times in your life dance has been crucial, and it's easy to see how dance is a big part of you, and that's why. So I always ask dancers two questions. Two questions I want to ask for the people who are listening to us. And one of them is, what advice do you give to people who went through what you did? So what as a dancer, but as someone who went through all those problems, what advice do you give them? So in terms of, I guess you already gave some advice on how to use dance to help them. But is there any other things you would like to say to those dancers listening to us today?
Well, I don't think it's just for dancers, but for everybody who is going through difficult situations in their lives. There's always a way out of it, even if it's through music, through art in general. There is always a way out. There's always a way to be better. And I personally recommend music and dance because I can feel free through it, through them. And that's it. There's always a way. We just have to wake up one day, look at the sun, and try to find a purpose through dance and music or whatever we want. There's always a way.
That is awesome advice. And the reason why I said dancers is because I have two parts of the question, which is, one is for dancers who are going through what you're going through, and you gave great advice, but also like people who are not dancers. So part of the purpose of this podcast is to encourage people who are not dancers to really start embracing dance, because there's this idea that dance is only for people who have talent. Dance, you need to be able to have technique and learn a dance style to embrace dance. So there's this idea that dance is not accessible to everybody. So what would you say to a non-dancer? What would you say to them to kind of like convince them to start dancing and embracing this art form?
Well, I have to say that dance is the language of the soul. So if you want to start dance, you first have to free yourself from what others says. And you have to let yourself be. You have to let your body flow with the music. And that's how one starts dancing. Technique is not that important at the end. When you are in the stage, technique is something that you're not thinking about. You're thinking about the music and how it flows through your body. Anyone can dance, but you have to free your soul to can dance.
Awesome. That was really good. So I agree with that anybody can dance, and we are born dancers. And as I said before, how we are made to sense rhythm, and our brains are designed for it. It means that everyone is designed to dance. Is there anything else you would like to share or say today?
Um, First of all, I want to say thanks for this space, because we don't have, at least in my country, dance is always pointing to the physical to the physical study of dance, but not how it affects the mind of the dancers. But I had to say that dance is a kind of medicine. You can heal through dance because it connects with your inner self. So I would like that everybody knows how liberating dance can be. If you have the chance to dance, you have to do it.
Exactly. I love that. If you have the chance to dance, you have to do it. And on that note, I'd like to add that some people cannot dance, or some people, they either paralyzed, or they have health problems that really stop them from doing a lot of movement, and they cannot, perhaps they can still dance. I believe like dance can be anything, even if it's just a finger movement, but they don't have that freedom and health to do that as much as they would want. And to have a body that is healthy, that moves in the way that you want, and not enjoying the degrees of movement and how much you can move, and not enjoying that body is just insane. So
Yes.
it doesn't matter what other people think, as you said. What matters is that you dance for yourself. If others
Exactly.
like it, that's amazing. But at the end of the day, it's for you. And even if it's just on your living room alone, you don't have to go and take up classes. It doesn't have to be something official. It can be just
Yes.
in your room, 10 minutes a day. you know, that itself already has a lot of benefits. And then is what you said, that there's not much information about the mental impact, the impact on the brain. There's even less, and studies are very scarce when it comes to impact on the brain, especially. And science of dance is very recent. And I think there's this idea that you only dance if you want to be fit, you only dance if you want to build muscle strength and all of that. No, you can also dance to improve your mental well-being, to improve your brain health, and avoid so many illnesses: Parkinson's, Huntington's disease, um, Alzheimer's. Alzheimer's is a big one. So you can keep your brain healthy as well, and keep your brain younger. So there's a lot of those benefits. And just now, people are starting to talk about it. There's a lot on dance psychology, but neuroscience of dance is still very specific. Um, and it's good to pass out this information so people know that whatever you're doing when you are dancing, you are causing an amazing impact on your health, physical and mental. And it doesn't matter if the technique is perfect. It doesn't matter if you do the movements right. It doesn't matter what kind of dance style you're doing, or if you're doing any for the starts. It still has an amazing impact. Um, and this is what I want to kind of like add to what you said as well. So thank you so much for sharing your story. It's very inspiring, and it was great to have you here. And for the people listening to us, thank you for listening, for tuning in with us. We apologize for any background noise, but we are talking across the world. Karina is in Argentina. I'm in the Netherlands. So this is the power of technology, but it comes with a few mistakes. So it's great to connect with everybody, and I'll see you in the next podcast. Thank you.